Welcome everybody to the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. Jim, this week we're on the letter Y, nearly at the end of the alphabet. So for the letter Y, you've chosen the word yes. Yes to what, specifically in your mind, makes all that difference to people's success?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Connor, and thank you. We're nearly there. It's been a great journey. Why did I choose yes? Why for yes? Because whether writers know it or not, most people were wired negatively with no's. It's no one's fault. When we are very young, we believe everything is possible. And then early influencers, and it's no one's fault. Oh, you don't do that, you can't do that, and that's, you'll never do that. Or it could be a school teacher, it could be anybody, it could be one of your first, could be something your mom and dad might say, an aunt or an uncle, a friend, and it limits you, and it goes into the subconscious. The subconscious mind is what I really am. I just love the subconscious mind, and a lot of people writers wouldn't be aware of the subconscious mind, or people in general wouldn't be aware, but that's subtly in the background, and it's what feeds us, and it's who we become. And unless you recognize, you have a negative thought, you'll just repeat the same story every day, the same negativity. And the amount of writers would have said, I remember I was a certain age and I believed I could conquer the world, I could be the best in the world, or I could be number one in the world, or I could win this class, that class. But I started to, at this age, somebody said something or something happened, and I just said, I'll never make it, I won't ever be any good enough, I won't ever get to that level, that's not for me, or I wish, kind of. So that's just a wiring of the brain. That's a condition that we've been conditioned with. Now, the great news is, the good news. Do you want to know the good news? Yes, we can change it. Yes, we can change absolutely the story. And we talked about the story. But knowing that it's a negative story is awareness. And again, awareness is curative. So when you know that this is a negative story, then you can change it to the yes. But we have to make sure that the yes is strong, strong, strong. We work on it every day, like a physical muscle as we build reps with workouts, we need to build it. It's a subconscious yes, and we have to feed it, and we feed it through the big R, which is repetition. So yes, I can, or yes, I got this, yes. I'll sometimes go down to the ring, I might say to a rider, what do you want to feel? And one rider told me recently, I've got this. I can do it. Some riders have things on their bracelets now that they can see, those little blocks, and I've got this. So that's the story, that's the positive story. And we have to become aware of the power of the negative, the no. And again, the no is a safety, it's a comfort zone, and it's the mind protecting us, going back to the evolution, from the wild animals. But this present day, the 21st century, we must remember that we can, if we tell ourselves enough, we can. And it's through repetition. And every little decision we make, there's either a no or a yes. There's only two choices. So we have to ask ourselves all the time, what's the next best thing? Like, what's the next best choice? Is it a negative or is it a positive? What's my story? Is it a negative story? Is it a positive story? So yes. So for example, if we want to go through the A to Z very quickly, yes, I will remain more in the present. In each breath I breathe. Take 3 deep breaths, Connor, put together. When you breathe, you come into the present. And that breath in brings us to the now, which allows us to be present, which allows anxiety to disappear. Anxiety is the worry of the future. And then I'm going to be brave enough to step into my yes. I'm going to be brave enough to step into my confidence. Yes, I love myself as much as my horse is for C. Yes, I can be more disciplined. Yes, I can eat healthier and hydrate more. Yes, I can have more fun in my day. I can go back to when it was amazing, when it was in the past. Yes, I can be more grateful. Yes, I can be more of a horse person, horse man, horse woman. Yes, I can be inspired by watching my heroes, including yourself as a rider. Yes, I can journal my journey and script my script of the next day. Yes, I can know more, I can learn more, I can research more rather than waste my time on negative stuff on social media. I inspire myself with good stuff. Maybe these podcasts, maybe the courses that will be on that are online that you can get on the website that will give you more levels in more specific levels. Yes to um, JKL, yes to letting go the old negative story and being aware of them and letting them go. Yes, it's only my business what I think, so I'm not going to worry what other people think. Yes to praising my efforts, pats on my back. It was great at the weekend. The rider came out and she had a clear, like in a Grand Prix, she was thrilled. See her pat her back, it was so beautiful. But we praise her efforts. Yes to taking quiet time. It's time every hour. I know it's a huge ask, and do I do it all the time? No, but I work on it as much as I can. Yes to rest on a Monday, if that's possible, if that's your day, or as much of your Monday as possible, riders and the rest of people who might listen, whatever day that they decide to rest, not to have a busy. If you're not on, you can't be off. S, that you're safe and protected in your bubble. T, that your time, beyond time, up in time, bed in time, time in your rounds, inside the time, the fastest time. So just be yes to all these beautiful things. You to be loving being uncomfortable, loving pushing yourself, loving the challenge of getting better, the uncomfortableness of trying something new, stepping into this new heart set that we're doing on this A to Z. Yes to the vision of the day, the vision of your rounds, your future rounds, the vision of the world being a happier, more peaceful place. Yes to the being world-class standards, do everything the best you can, just high standards. Yes to WXY. Yes to being excited, bringing out the passion, bringing out your heart set, your spirit, that excitement, that energy. And back to why again. Yes to being in this moment. Yes to stepping up. Yes to your future. Yes to this better life. Yes to studying these and studying more that are on the website. Yes to deepening your sense of commitment to this beautiful passion, this sport, this connection with these animals, this lifestyle. Yes to all of it. And let the small NO disappear, that it goes into a dot, eventually into the ethos, that it's just not there, and you're just filled with yes to every morning when you wake up, that every day is another day in paradise. Yes to it's going to be a brilliant day, fantastic day. Use the letter of the alphabet. That's what I tell myself. It's going to be an outstanding day for O. So day in paradise for P. So play around with words, because yes to positive words, no to negative words.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And can I add another one? One that's coming to me is that no matter how good or bad things are going, that yes, the universe wants the best for you.
Yes, it's a beautiful one. Actually, one writer, I were friends for the longest time, and one of his greatest lines is "Everything is working out for the best." It's a lovely, lovely line. I was telling a person earlier that this that if he got something a year ago, he wouldn't have. He was glad it didn't come that time because he wasn't ready for it. So that's the universe taking care of us. Yeah. So that's a lovely, it's a lovely way to look at it. At times it's frustrating because why haven't I got it? You just have to trust. You have to learn. You have to be grateful for the moment, be present, and see all the good in the moment, and then out of the blue stuff comes. We get stuff from the universe when we're nearly not ready, when we're not expecting it. Again, a writer at the last show, she was just thrilled. She didn't expect it. Like, she thought of, her horse hit a few rays, but they didn't fall, and she was just thrilled but her focus, she deserved it because she was in a really good place and the horse really tried and it was just magical.
Yeah. Another story that is coming to mind is I remember Steve Harvey, you know, he's the comedian and he's on television and he's very funny, but he had quite a bad stutter, I think, when he was young, and the teacher was asking him, you know, the teacher says, "Oh, everybody write down what they want to be when they grow up," and everybody writes down, "I want to be a fireman, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a policeman." He wrote, "I want to be on TV." Well, she went through him saying, "Who do you think you are? You can barely speak, and you're like, how do you expect to even be on TV if you can barely speak? And don't be going out there thinking that." He is on TV for I don't know how many years, 20 years. It was on Saturday Night Live and had his own shows and all the rest. And you know what he does now every Christmas? He sends that same teacher a TV every Christmas for Christmas to remind her that she was the one that drove him on. So maybe, is there a way that we can use this negative? Sometimes something can get into us, but we can turn that around.
Yeah, that works for some personalities. And if you need something to drive you, to push you, like there is a rider, and if he's a point to prove, he actually rides better. So that depends on your personality. There was another rider, he wanted to do it for his kids, which was admirable. I remember asking him, like, you know, who else, if you could do it for you, what would you want and what would you think? And he said, well, I'm a force of nature. He came up with a force of nature, you know, and I remind him going down the chute, you know, what are you? He said, I'm a force of nature. I could see that those 2 millimeters rising, like, but he was doing it for himself, and he actually rode like he won the class. It was just class. Like, it was just like he was just in his own zone, you know. He was so present. But there are riders, they need a point, they need that hunger. One of the tennis players, I think it's Rafael, but I am not 100% certain it's Rafael, but it was he said he always picks someone in the crowd to say, I'm going to prove it to him or her. And he said, that's my personality, that works best for me. But it's not, it's that does work, but not with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get it from inside, that you just love to be the best and get the best out of the horse and the best, it's beautiful energy.
Yeah, but I suppose the way they're transforming that, they're still going in a very positive way. I'm going to prove it, and then there's still a positive energy to it. It's not completely negative.
Yeah, no, it's not. And again, if you see it like back at survival, like it's raw, it's real, like, you know, it's aggressive, but it's survival. It's like I'm the winner, I'm a fighter, I'm a leader. It's, you know, it's a dominance. You know, if you can use it for that I've got this. Yeah. Actually, it reminds me of a class. A rider was second in the class earlier in the week, and I felt that he didn't really work to fight for the end, and I challenged him in a kind of a roundabout way, and I could see him like, you know, I can do this. Now, I don't know, he actually won on that Sunday, but I don't know. I'm hoping he was doing it for himself, not to do it for me, that I was challenging him. But there was a shift in his, you know, he just decided he was going to go for it. He was a winner, you know. So playing with that energy, and that's the excitement part that we talked about under X. Like, you get excited, to bring the best out of yourself, the best out of your horse. And that's the competitive edge, yeah.
So in terms of how do you find that balance between positive and negative, so that I can prove it to myself or to anyone around me, but also in a positive way? Because if it's too negative, sometimes people, I think, they do it to prove a point, but then they're flat afterwards going, oh, I did that now. But they're not doing it for a greater vision or something more positive in the longer term.
Yeah, so look, horsemanship is key, number one, and to be the best horseman you can do, and to ride your best round as fast as you can for your horse at the time. To me, that's a win, you know. And when riders understand that, now if the horse is good enough and they believe they're good enough to win a class, you know, then that's down to taking risks and calculated risks and so on. And so I don't know should negative come into it. I be competitive, like be competitive, like compete your best, competitive. Complete yourself and your horse the best you can, at the best possible. And of course, you have to watch the rounds and study them and see what numbers can be left out. So you have to use, intelligence and smartness, and then you try and bring it all into the ring and leave nothing behind.
But is there a way of understanding when does it feel like it's a negative energy, as in a detrimental energy versus a positive energy? Is it how you feel in yourself, or what way?
Yeah, I would say the more excitement you can bring into it. I've got this. Like this is, there's a balance between anger and excitement.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm trying to understand. Like,
yeah, anger doesn't serve. Anger is like, one writer said, God, before I used to get angry and it wasn't good. I wouldn't be in the flow of my horse. Like I'd be just trying to dominate everything and just force it. But so once he became aware of that and let it go and became more of the horseman and the connection with the horse and do what he believes the horse can do and challenge himself and the horse, everything changed. Yeah, no, anger doesn't serve us. Okay, if we're not riding and if something goes wrong and we get really frustrated and we get like we want to vent, we want to get it out, and we build up this tension and it tips into anger. It can be a good thing if you can say, I'm not going to let this happen again. I have to change systems here. I have to change, I have strategies here. This is not good enough. I have to do something about it. That's good. You use it for the greater good. You don't use it to turn it on someone and blame somebody. You use it, okay, how can I change? How can I better myself here? How can I make sure that this never bloody well happens again? Then you're using it positively. But on a horse, it doesn't serve. No one, like getting angry with a horse, getting thick with a horse is a no, 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 no. Actually, this is the yes. What? This is the yes. So these are the no's and these are the yeses. So yes, the horsemanship. So anger when you ride does not serve.
yeah, but I hear you. Like sometimes you just need to get stuff off your chest. But some people talk about, you know, spend 2 minutes, 5 minutes, go to a room, scream your head off. You have to let it all out, but don't live there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to express. I love when people call me and they're upset, they're frustrated, they need to share all their disappointments, frustrations, angers, pains, challenges, and it's a safe place. Like it's confidential, it's safe. Then they have it off their chest, they have it off their shoulders. It's calm, and then we look for the solutions. So there is a place. There's no point in burying it and hiding it, and then you'll really explode then because you're keeping it all in and pushing it down, cover under the mat. Some people would say, but when you just express it in that safe place, and then it's out, and then some people would voice note me, some people could text me, the really hard day, this was really challenging. Some people could leave me a voice note and say, I just can't believe what happened today. And then even in that, you're expressing it. It's like a horse blown out, and then he relaxes and moves on. So you're letting it go. But then you have to work on the solution. Okay, well, how can I improve this? How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? How can I make sure that I learn from this and I integrate it and I create better systems, better structures, so I'm moving forward and growing all the time. So it's part of the process. It doesn't always happen where you have to get angry, but there's times when things do get really frustration. So before every breakthrough, there's a frustration. So that's normal. It's like when you're, on young horses, you keep training them, and you're patient. A rider this morning was telling me that she was riding a green horse, and even though he passed this part of the pocket, the in-gate twice already, he spooked at it the next time. And look, okay, he's young, she was a good horsewoman. She talked through it, and that will come in time. But there comes, but through proper repetition, doing the correct thing, you get the correct answers, and doing the ordinary thing consistently gets the extraordinary results.
Yeah, like what I'm taking from what you're saying is that, look, we need to stay as positive as possible in this yes place, because if not, like as you say, if you get angry, we all know someone who just seems to be angry all the time, and from their point of view, they're probably going, this went wrong today and I'm angry about it all day, and then that energy attracts in something else that's wrong, and then they're even angrier, and it just seems to be where they live. And it's very hard to be around that energy. Plus, it doesn't serve them.
Doesn't serve. Now we can all be guilty of it, and it's hard to get out of it, because it can spiral. And I've had those conversations with myself, and I'd say, hang on, Jim, I need to stop here and change, and that's why I'm big into those quiet time to reset. If everyone could reset and not let them be the story of their lives, the negative story, because it become a negative story, and some people unfortunately live in a negative life. And that's why I'm excited that all this is going out, because I wish I got this stuff earlier in my life. I would have had a happier life. So we just need to change the negative story, realize we can't acknowledge it, accept it, we have it, and then, okay, well, how can I change it? What do I need to, when we just take a moment, we just sit and, look at it and then decide, okay, I'm going to change it. And like all this A to Z, like there's so many tools, I want people to, study these, to change them for themselves, so that them and everybody around them will live a happier, more positive life rather than negative life. So I have empathy for everybody, compassion for everybody. I believe everybody is doing their best with the tools they have. They knew better, and if they're brave and if they're had the courage to change, because change takes courage, it takes bravery, and the courage to be vulnerable, to say, look, I don't know, or I'm messing up here. I should be able to say sorry. I should be able to, sorry to myself for being so hard on myself, sorry to others. I need to be able to be brave to say, I don't know, help me here. So that takes, so I have empathy for people that are slow to open up, because it's kind of, it's a humbling thing, and it takes, that's not easy. When people call me, I feel honored, because they're vulnerable, to grow and to get better. And some people have a stuck mindset or a closed mindset. It's not their fault, because the growth mindset is where we need to grow and better ourselves every day. To me, that's the best mindset we can, that 1% better every day. But but before that, like, people are stuck in perfectionism, or should be correct. Like, I can remember wanting everything perfect, and everything, if it's not perfect, I believe that we need to share and help as many people as we can, so that people can become and live an example to be positive and to be helpful and supportive, so that we can help people shift from this mindset that doesn't serve us. But it is difficult to get out of, because there are people, and you talked about them, that person being angry, like, he doesn't probably know there's another way to live, Conor.
Yeah. And then there's other people, you talk to different people or whatever, and they seem to be very bitter about life or angry or whatever, and then you talk to them, you realize, they've been through hell. They lost the business, they lost small children, or whatever it is that they have. And I turned around to him and I said, you went through probably more pain than anyone I know put together. Did you ever go for therapy to get it off your chest? Or he said, no, we never did anything like that. We just kept it between ourselves. And then this huge strain in their lives, and it just repeats that story that they got stuck in, repeats in their lives. And I suppose that's where what you're saying here is trying to get out of that negative story again and staying in that positive thing. So that becomes the new story. And I think we've talked about that so much true in all the A to Z. And just having that new story and that new perspective, that even that a different type of life is even possible, because we tend to reinforce 95% of all the thoughts we have the day before, as you said before. So I think that's really powerful what you're saying, Jim, is that we need to say yes and keep that positive mindset, and yes, vent, yes, get the help and therapy you need if you're going something through really traumatic.
Yeah.
So that you don't get stuck there.
Yeah, exactly, Conor. And have empathy for people that are stuck, and pass it on and share and help. And I love everybody listen, share this. Like, I got a call, and you're present, from somebody this morning saying that they got they shared this with a friend, and they said it's helped them so much. And he was 15 minutes talking about, thanks for sending it on. Like, I don't know that person, but I am so happy that that person's life can be changed because of this podcast going out. So the more we help, the more, the secret to living is giving. So The more we can give and help people and put good tools and be the example, because it takes effort. It's, people might say to me, "Oh, Jim, you're so positive." But I work so hard on it. I don't like the word work, but I play so hard on it. Like I discipline myself. It's so easy to, yeah, I'll do it later. Like, it's so easy. Sure, I'm all right. Like, it's so easy to have those stories, those negative stories that stop you. Like, I'm constantly like working on the turning the nose to yes, like constantly. I'm being honest. Like, it's like, but it takes effort. But the joy of it then when you do and you're following through and God, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did my exercises early this morning. I'm glad I drank so much water earlier.
I know you for what, over 20 years, and you're definitely the most disciplined person I know in terms of, and I always wondered why, like, how is he so disciplined every morning, 5 o'clock, running, yoga, meditation, visualizing, just setting yourself up in the most positive way to help other people every day. And so that it doesn't just come automatically. You have, if you set yourself up and to start the day in the right energy, then that flows through the rest of the day. It's so easy to, as you say, wake up to social media or something negative in the news or an email with somebody giving out, and usually it's always problems when you get an email. People don't email you unless they have something you want to fix for them or something that's an issue. So like it's I really admire that in you, Jim, that you have that, you take that hour or 2 hours every morning before you even help anybody to be in the right energy. And if people can apply that to their lives, that will transform their lives. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. It's the early morning routine. And it's sometimes challenging because I travel so much because I can easily say, God, I'm in a different time zone. But it takes effort. So as I talked earlier, I think under E, on energy, I always ask myself, how will I feel afterwards? And that really helps. Like, I'll feel great afterwards. And not to beat yourself up, not to feel guilty too. Just do your best, 1% better every day. So it's just a little step at a time, because sometimes you get overwhelmed by watching, wanting to do it all in one go. But take it little bites at a time. I'd encourage that.
bringing that yes into our lives, that positivity into our lives. What tools do you use? Is it like a journal? Is it meditation? What do you do to try and practically implement and integrate it into your life?
So one of my tools, well, everything to do in this A to Z, I work on it all the time. I work on trying to be in my breath and to be brave, to push through, to be confident, determined, and energy all the way down. So I use this alphabet, and to get my nose to yeses. So for example, this morning I had set the alarm for very early, I won't say the time, and I didn't get up. And I said, because then I realized what time I went to bed at, and it was a story. I was being negative, and I should have got up earlier, and I caught myself. Now, I was still early, but I would have done one exercise
As
more.
in 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock.
So I'm not telling you. But I did have a chat with myself, and I was disappointed, and I would have got one more exercise in that I really loved doing, and I ran out of time. And I'm asking myself, will I get it into my day yet? I've asked myself that same question maybe 5 times already. I'd love to get it in, but as we know, if we don't get it done early in the morning, it's so hard to get it back into your day at another time, because just the day is just so, those early hours are the golden hours, and the more time you can have, and the discipline of going to bed early and up in time is so important. To have the yeses, so it's not, and it's not like the no to yes. It takes time. It's like turning a tide. If you have a negative, if you're just haven't worked on yourself, or if you need to work on yourself more, it just takes effort, and praise yourself, pats on your back, all these you might think is silly, but like, well done, and not being hard and not being guilty. Okay, I need to get better, I need to improve. And I said 1% a day to get better, like just a little bit every day. Again, like riding a horse, you're not trying to teach him to be a 5-star horse as a 4-year-old. You're doing little bits at a time, or a hunter or a dressage horse. You're not trying to get to the highest level. You're just trying to teach them little bits at a time. It's the same with ourselves, but it's consistency. You know, you don't ride your horse once a week, you know, every day. He's off on a Monday, 5 days a week. He's been exercised. We need to exercise ourselves 5, 6 days a week in our energy, in our fitness, in our self-talk, in our yes talk.
Okay, and so if people, you might just kind of explain, do you kind of write out on your journal, this is how I'm visualizing my week, my year, what I want, and I suppose trying to get to yes, you need to have some sort of a vision, do you?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of paper, pen and paper. I'm always writing. You see that, I have notes everywhere, Conor. But on my phone, I always put tomorrow's date down, and I write down, I've 10 points. I write down 10 parts of my life that I want to, you know, write down. So I did it this morning for tomorrow, and as I write them down, I get really clear and specific on each area. And when I've that done, I've already set it out for tomorrow. And the time, as I'm writing it, I'm feeling the energy of tomorrow. So I'm already thinking of tomorrow morning, because I'm putting it forward for tomorrow. I find that really, you're paying forward. I find that really helpful. I never put today's date on it. It's tomorrow's date. So I'm putting it forward for tomorrow. And I make sure that I, you know, discipline. Okay, when I'm traveling, if I miss a day on a Monday, I'm not going to beat myself up, but like, this is more in my morning practice. And as I put it in, like, I can feel myself following through on each area, because I've put it out there and I'm physically typing it.
So when you say each area, that's like categories of your life?
Yeah, each parts, and so that I'm, you know, my goal is to be in a peak state all the time.
Very good. And then obviously you try and visualize that for the next day, but do you kind of have a vision for 3 months, a year, or ahead of what do you do? So like if I'm a writer and right, it's very hard, very easy to get stuck in the negativity of what's going on in the moment, in the day, what the drama is going on, you forgot this or whatever, I don't know, whatever the things that are just taking up your attention.
Yeah.
But what keeps you going, I suppose, is the long-term vision of work.
Yeah, the goal. So the goal, the vision, the outcome, the result you want. You know, I'd always ask, you know, what would be the goal for this week at the show? And writers will tell me their goal. And it's a great question. So one writer wanted to be in the top 3, and it was a big lofty goal. And she was on the podium on the Sunday, and she said, I made the top 3. So that alone was powerful, because I asked the question, and she gave me her answer, and she got her result. Now, Conor, it doesn't always happen that way, but she felt it. She felt the connection. She remembered when I asked the question, you know, and she, you know, connected to it, and she was thrilled. So the power of thinking what you want, you know, that's the yes, like, that's how you set it up. You have to know what you want, and not to be afraid to talk about the outcome, but don't be attached to it. She wasn't thinking about, the top podium. She was working on the process at the end of it all. So goals, ambitions are so powerful. You know, be brave to put it out there, what you want. You know, some people call them hairy, lofty goals. Like, it's exciting, you know, frighten yourself with them. And then don't get obsessed with them. Enjoy, feel already you are that champion, feel already you are the winner, feel already you are already in the podium. That's the excitement we talked about under the X Factor. But then the process, we're not as good as your goals, we're as good as our systems. So how are my systems? You know, how is my system? It's all about systems. The better your system, the better your life, not your goals. So how am I going to implement this, and this? So, is my horse 100%? And is the farrier coming? Have I the right shoes? Are they studs? You know, all the different, what are they on? What feed are they on? What bit am I going to use? How much flat work do they need? What kind of gymnastics do they need? They're all systems. I'm making a plan. And for riders, like to write down, this horse I'm going to, even if they did it for the following day, this horse I'm going to do grids with this horse. I'm going to flat this horse, I'm going to put this bit on this horse, or do extra flat work, build up the muscle, or whatever, or supplement change this horse. That's just forward thinking. That's all vision. That's all going into the future. And the more time you have, early hours in the morning before the day starts, I would say is the best time. And then if you can take the mini breaks every hour to reset, restart, so it's like turning off your phone and turn on your phone again, those 3 minutes. As soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to take a 3 minute, because I want to be fresh for my next part of my day.
Okay, so like it's that kind of visioning, and again, you're a big fan of meditation, and we do a meditation at the end of every podcast. So what kind of a meditation can we do to integrate this positive mindset?
I'll bring you through it, Connor, and bring each rider through it, that we just become aware of letting go the N and bringing in the Y. And it's normal. No one is alone. I promise you, I have not met someone that is all the time positive. They might say it, and they might be it, but there will be parts, because we're humans, that negatives come in and I try to get in, and the more we're aware that it's a continuous work in progress, the happier we can be to understand it and catch ourselves and see it like a game. I'm not taking that bait. Get back there, brain, mind, head, and live in that exciting energy, and do stuff, and not to be looking for excuses, because excuses are all to do with ends, the no's, and the yeses. I can do this. Yes, I will do that. So the meditation, I'll implement all that.
Okay, so let's bring us into a meditation.
Very good. Thank you, Connor. So I'd love you to begin, each and every rider watching this, to close your eyes, and as you breathe in the good energy into your body, strong, healthy body. Remember, we are the stories we tell ourselves, and as you breathe out any negative thoughts. Breathe in the positive yes thoughts. Yes, I'm going to enjoy this. All the no's, breathe them out. Breathing in this feeling of great positive energy. Energy flowing right through your body, from your head to your toes, right down into the universe, mile into the universe. Feel your energy centered and strong. Breathing in this positive energy. As you breathe out, let go of the tension of the nose. Breathing in, yes, I can. Yes, I can relax more in each moment. Yes, I can be in each moment. Yes, I can feel my right arm relax. Yes, I can feel my left arm relax. Yes, I can feel my mind, my brain, my head just let go. Yes, I can feel my upper body, lower body relax. Be calm and centered even more. Yes, I feel my right leg, left leg relax. Yes, I feel my right foot, left foot relax. Yes, I feel my hands, my arms just let go. Yes, I can do everything I decide. Yes to my yes attitude. Yes to my belief in myself. Yes to my confidence, my certainty. Yes to my good, better energy, better health, better fitness. Yes to my better gratitude, my better horsemanship, my better inspiration, inspiring myself to step up. Yes to the joy of this journey, the jumping journey, the horse journey, the joy of journaling. Yes to my knowing, my knowledge, my improving, my growth mindset. Yes to letting go of the negative, being aware of the negative. Yes to changing the negative to a positive yes. Yes to owning my business, what I think. Yes to praising my efforts. Yes to quiet time. Yes to resting on my day off. Yes to understanding that I love being uncomfortable as I change my no's to yeses. Yes to my vision of my future, my ambitions, my goals, my dreams. Yes to believing I can achieve, I will achieve, I've got this. Yes to being a winner of each good thought, each good effort at a time. A winner of following through on my heart, what feels right, my instinct, my gut. Yes to tuned into my spirit, what's right and what's important. Yes to yeses, yes to knowing my whys. This is who I am. I'm driven with purpose, with passion, with belief, with power, with energy. Yes to knowing I've got this. Yes to believing I've got this. Yes to knowing I'm more than worthy, more than good enough. From 1 to 2, 2 to 3, building this yes energy. Yes to this new way, this better way, forever improving way. Yes to growth. Yes to learning. Yes to getting better. Yes to improving. From 2 to 3, 3 to 4, feeling my energy, my excitement, my passion growing. Yes to being filled up with this new way of being. Yes to being in spirit. Yes to being excited. Yes to being filled with good energy, with making all the right efforts to improve at 1% every day. Yes to 3, 4, 5, 6, letting it build. Yes to 7, 8, you've got this, you've got this. Yes to the attitude of gratitude. Yes to believing. Yes to confidence. Yes to achieving. Yes to betterment. Yes to attention to detail of how you feel. Yes to gratitude. Yes to humility. Yes to growth. Yes to being the better self, the best version of me, the best version of you, the best version of you, the best version of you. Yes, yes, and yes. Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you, Jim. This has been the Jim Hickey Podcast, the A to Z of Success in the Ring. Next week we come to the final letter in our A to Z series, the letter Z. Z being for being in the zone.